Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's vlog, we're gonna get our hands dirty because we're gonna be cooking up a yummy little feast. Hi! When Reiner and I first started dating, I introduced him to a lot of the dishes that I grew up eating. And over time, he's made a lot of those Indian dishes for me. First of all, it's so special, but it's amazing that he can identify flavors and really recreate them based on like one tasting. This one time he tasted kanvi, which is this beautiful Gujarati dish made out of chickpea flour and yogurt, and he made 16 batches to get the right flavors. I'm not the best cook, but we have a policy which is you cook, I clean, and I think it works out pretty well. Being married to someone who's so creative and inventive in the kitchen, I thought why not try to learn to make some of my own favorite dishes from Reiner, but do it in a healthy way that fits into my current plan. You can take something you grew up eating and make it work within your nutritional plan. It combines my love for bread with my need for protein. So I'm really excited to share this with you guys.
What are we cooking today?
So we're going to make Fenugreek Flatbreads, Methi Rotis, but they're kind of a little bit different from how they're normally made in the sense that they have a lot more protein, and I've also added a few extra ingredients which you won't normally find in there. Reduce kind of the reliance on oil and ghee as much. So they're kind of a healthier version of a traditional kind of roti.
Awesome! Let's do this!
So to start with, we're going to take 1.5 cups whole wheat ground flour. Take off your wedding ring, because when you're making breads, you're really married to the job.
Oh my god!
No, the real reason is it slips off my fingers and ends up in the dough. So we add about a teaspoon of salt. So next up, we add a pinch of asafoetida, also known as hing. Don't go overboard with it, but it does add a tremendous amount of flavor. Next, another teaspoon of turmeric. It's going to give it a lovely color.
Gorgeous.
Now, normally you would use red chili powder, but since we don't really like spicy food too much, cayenne is a good alternative because it's not too spicy, but still gives you a little bit of that heat.
Yeah.
Very important, the carom seeds or ajwain. 2 teaspoons of that. This also really helps with the digestion. So now we add the main ingredient, which is this hung Greek yogurt.
Okay.
Which has no fat, but very high protein content compared to regular yogurts. That's why we like to use this.
So how much protein is in 1 cup?
Well, one of these cups has around 20 grams of protein.
Whoa.
But obviously, like, it makes quite a few rotis, so you won't probably eat all of it. But still,
yeah,
it adds up. And we pretty much just add the entire thing. 1.5 cups of washed fenugreek, and I have about half a cup of coriander.
Oh, nice.
What I usually do is I pack them together and I kind of roll them up a little bit, like so. And then with my knife, cut it like you're cutting a log. Add that in there. So now's the fun part. We get to mix it all up by hand and make it into a dough. You need to hydrate the flour up until the point where it can't take any more water. It's kind of like maximally hydrated. Because that's when the gluten bonds start to form and the dough becomes really elastic. If you don't give it enough water, the dough will be really brittle and a bit dry, and you won't get the elasticity and the softness. Add water a little bit at a time to get the consistency that you want. It needs to be soft and pillowy when you press into it. It's a little bit bouncy, but mainly it's just really soft. So we're going to add a little bit of olive oil, just about a teaspoon or 1.5 teaspoons. When I was really young, growing up in Canada when I was about 4 or 5, we had some family friends who were an Indian family. And I remember the mom always used to make what they called teplas.
Yeah.
And it had a particular flavor to them, and I never really knew what that was. And I spent maybe like 25 years trying to find out what those flavors were, and it turns out that they were ajwain and methi. When I rediscovered those flavors, which was around the time that I met you, instantly brought me back to my childhood. So you take your knuckles and you press into the dough like this.
Yeah.
And you take it, fold it down, and again.
Oh my god, it smells amazing.
Yeah, like that, and then fold it in half, and then in half again.
Am I doing well?
You're doing really well. So once it's reached kind of a consistency where it's no longer sticky and it's firmed up but still nice and soft, you take it and you just start to form it into a ball. I do that pretty much just by using my hands and
Beautiful.
now we'll just let this rest in an airtight container for about 20 minutes. So now that the dough is rested for a bit, we're ready to start making them into the actual flatbreads.
Yay!
Yeah. You start by pinching a piece off. I'd like to keep them quite small because they're relatively easier to handle that way. I think about the same size as a table tennis ball.
And then you roll it up into a flat part, or?
Yeah, into like a nice cohesive flat disc, like a puck.
So it's going from table tennis
Like
to...
this. Yeah, all sports analogies here. We dip it into the flour. So we just flatten it a bit, work it a bit like that.
Yeah.
Then we get out the rolling pin.
Wow, look at that.
Just very gently start applying some pressure to the sides.
Babe, do you know what a rolling pin is called in Hindi?
No.
It's called a belan.
Balin.
Belan, yeah, that's it.
So use your balin. So you can't roll these too thin, otherwise they will start to break up.
Okay.
Put it onto the pan.
Wow.
It cooks only for a few seconds on one side before you flip it. Now that this side's cooked slightly, we take it and we flip it. This side's going to cook a little bit longer. A little bit of ghee or olive oil to this side. So this is pretty much ready to go.
I can't believe how lucky I am to have a partner who I can constantly learn from and be inspired by. I hope you enjoyed the making of this little feast, and thank you so much for watching. May the week ahead be full of love and great food. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.